A lot of you have talked about your personal reasons for doing what you do and the passion. And Kelly, you talked a little bit about the challenges of working with multiple stakeholders, government as well as private and other interests. From my own experience, the hard work side of the business can take over some days. How do you stay in touch with your personal mission and the passion for what you do?
I have lots of passion, and I absolutely have passion for participation in our mandate. So I just jump out of bed every morning, and that's kind of who I am. I actually believe that a great leader has passion, whether it's in the not-for-profit or for the for-profit sectors. I don't think it matters. I think if you wish to build a magical culture, if you wish to motivate people, if you wish to manage your board of directors and inspire them to go beyond, if you plan to raise money, whether that's, again, raising capital in the private sector or fundraising in the not-for-profit sector, you absolutely have to come to every one of those tasks every day with tons of passion. And I think passion is probably one of my strengths. It is probably also one of those things that I need to manage, because when you're passionate, everything looks totally exciting and rich. And my life is incredibly rich, but I end up being very, very involved and working very, very long hours. So Rocco's point earlier is absolutely correct. My friends have done interventions before when I was in the private sector, and they're doing more interventions now, actually, as I'm in the not-for-profit sector. But passion is just, for me, one of those key elements of leadership.
Now, Rocco, I'm concerned about your level of passion you bring to your job. What advice would you give to other people?
You're going to work harder than ever before in your life. You're going to get paid less. You're going to have volunteer boards that are going to drive you crazy. If you don't have passion for the cause, don't go to the cause.
Rocco, everybody's leaving.
I mean, no, but the passion is what pays off. And I'll give you just one story. One of the things I'm known for doing crazy things, so I decided I was going to cycle from Rainy River to Toronto to raise funds and awareness for the Heart and Strokes Defibrillator Initiative. And I hadn't been on a bike really since I was 16, because I was hit by a drunk driver and lost my nerve. And so getting back on was a huge thing, but I wanted to do it. And the huge payoff came in North Bay. I rode in at the end of May, and I met Michel Langevin. And Michel was 45 years old, a father of two, very much like my friend Don. And a month and a half before I met him, he was doing what he's been doing since he was 6 years old. He was playing hockey with his buddies in the arena in Sturgeon Falls. Only on that particular night, and it happened to be Friday, April the 13th, he collapsed on the ice of cardiac arrest. 911 was called. It arrived 12 minutes later. He would have been dead, because after you go into cardiac arrest, each and every minute your chance of survival decreases by about 10%. So you have about 10 minutes to resuscitate. But there was a defibrillator on the wall. There were CPR-trained individuals in that arena, and Michel Langevin was saved. That defibrillator, that CPR training, was the first $5,000 investment we'd made a month and a half before through this program. To look into the eyes of these two kids who still have a dad and a spouse that still has a husband because of a program you participated in, there is no better feeling in the world. And because that cause connected, for me, it was full circle from the death of Don to the survival of Michel Langevin, because I was powerless to do anything to save Don, but that death led to someone being saved, and since then 15 people have been saved through this program. If you can't feed off passion like that, then you're dead. And you need to be prepared, because, make no mistake as well, you're here as a senior executive in a not-for-profit. The biggest part of your job is raising money. If you're not waking up every day and ready to make calls and ready to take no, because there are a ton of great causes out there, 80,000 plus, if you don't bring passion, people smell that. Like, they know you're real or you aren't. And if you can't show why it is that it's important to you, why should they give you any money? Why should they be a volunteer? Why should they participate in your cause? So bring it.
Right on.
Baby.
Sarah, the arts sector is notorious for being extremely demanding on its leaders. They not only have to put in full work days, there's often evening events, galas, fundraisers. Is there such a thing as work-life balance for you?
Well, first of all, I'd just like to comment that I seem to be always following Rocco, and and really, there's no way to look good in that position. But that being said, I'll answer the question.
It's not any easier going before us.
Fair enough. Okay. Work-life balance, it was challenging in the private sector. I have to say it's challenging in the not-for-profit sector. In theory, people recognize that, again, there's this trade-off. You're not getting paid quite as much. And in theory, people recognize that you're going to work less hours. But as Rocco and others have said, the reality is different. So, you really do have to work hard at it. I do personally. And I mean, Nicholas, mentioned the galas and things, and you're probably thinking, oh, that doesn't sound so bad, getting to go to things. But I mean, any time that you're spending, you're working, and it is a big demand. So I think it continues to be a challenge. And again, this is where passion comes in. You've got to love what you're doing. You've got to feel that the time you're spending is contributing to the achievement of that greater good, whatever it is, and somehow that makes it worthwhile. And you just, I haven't had to have any interventions, I have to say, but it does continue to be an issue. So as others have said, don't go into it thinking that you're going to a nice, easy job. There is a bit more flexibility, I think, in terms of sort of objectively what's expected, but the reality is you work very, very hard.
Thank you.